Hi guys, it's Rosina Star. Just thought I'd make a quick video here before I go to bed. So the name to this video is more signs that you are being groomed to be part of a narc harem, or that you are a part of a narc harem and you're not even aware that you are a part of one. And these are kind of important ideas because a lot of us don't think about this as we are kind of caught up in the days and we're caught up in the moment, or this person's reactions to what's going on, or them crazy making any situation they can to have the upper hand, and then we're not even aware of like our own feelings. So anyway, hi kitty cat. My cat's swarming around me like a thirsty little shark, isn't she? Now, anyway, so this video is a continuation from the other one. If you saw the other one, it was called pretty much the same title. So this is gonna reflect on my relationship I had with a guy named Jim, and he was a narcissist, grandiose type of narcissistic individual, and this is the kind of steps he put me through, which were new to me compared to the other types of narcs I had been with. So that's why I'm sharing all this information, because in case it's not out there, you haven't run into it yet, it's pretty important that you know you're being groomed and what the real deal is with this type of guy, because I'm sure there's much more out there in different ways, different shapes, different forms, and different sizes, okay? So, anyways, when I had first met Jim, it was on a time where I was just dining out by myself, and he had actually given me free drinks because he owns a restaurant. Now, I'm not saying that he drugged me that night, but when I had got back from his restaurant that night after having 2 chocolate martinis, I was literally laying in a fetal position on my floor in the bathroom with an aching stomach ache, and I had felt so sick to my stomach. And it was after the drink, the last drink I had, you know, and usually I can have a couple martinis and I'm okay. Now those drinks there are pretty strong. I mean, and I'm, you know, not a big person, but I can usually handle my alcohol, right? So I get into my bathroom and I am just deathly ill. Okay, I feel like I'm deathly ill. I'm just, my stomach hurts so bad, almost like food poisoning, but worse. And I can't really vomit, and it was more like the other kind coming out. So then I noticed, like, I was so fatigued and tired from feeling so sick. I actually ended up sleeping on the floor for about 3 or 4 hours. And lo and behold, after 3 or 4 hours, I proceeded to get up and I felt a lot better, like something had been lifted off me, like just fine again. So I'm like, well, that was really weird. Usually food poisoning kind of lingers with you, kind of like a bronchitis cough. You're not really feeling that well, but it kind of builds up gradually that you feel better. This was like instant I felt better. So I'm like, that's almost like somebody put something in my drink. And I haven't experienced that for many, many years, so it was kind of suspicious to me. And so then he invited me to a brunch the day after I had come in for that drink the night before. It was just a random encounter with this guy, blah, blah, blah. Now, upon meeting him that night with the drink incident, he given me his address and wrote it down and told me to drive by his place and if it was acceptable, because it seems like I've met a lot of guys full of shit. Now, that's another way to talk to me like a big man speaks, because I had never tried to give him that impression. Needless to say, he was having employees give me their phone number randomly as well. Another red flag if we're paying attention, and I was. So anyways, I'm just letting this play out to see how far it will actually go, because it's entertainment to me. I was in the midst of transitioning to get a foot operation done, so I didn't really have anything to do with my spare time. Well, why not learn and meet more narcissists, right? It can only further my education in life to help you guys out there, and maybe hopefully you won't have to go through it because I did, and you'll take what I've learned and put it to practice and not have to go through these situations, you know? So anyway, I get there to the brunch on a Sunday, because it was Saturday night. I actually ended up going out, and the whole atmosphere is just kind of odd. Now, what I noticed about this restaurant is that it's very neglected. If you look around, it hasn't been dusted in at least, 3 or 4 years. Dust mites are very real, and they do invade everybody's homes, and we should try to, dust and pick up after, ourselves like that. I dust at least once a week here. It may be a little cluttered, but it's clean. and we're working on that. I'm working on getting some furniture in here because unfortunately that wouldn't fit either. That's a different topic. So anyway, so, Jim, he puts on this presentation like everything is, great quality and, state-of-the-art place you can go and, motorcycles on the walls and, monkeys hanging from the ceiling with money out of their butt. I don't know, just random stuff everywhere is what it looks like, basically. Like, a mother's attic or something that just never got cleaned out is kind of what the restaurant looks like. It's kind of cluttered and not really that cozy, and that's just my own opinion. I would do it differently. Now, I think this man is somewhat mob-related. I could be wrong, but the way that he has a bar named after a mobster is a little bit suspicious to me. Not only that, his house is kind of decorated to Kingdom Come, and there's a lot of things of value in there that's kind of a front, just like his restaurant. Like, the house may be worth $600,000, but maybe there's $3 million worth of stuff in there. And, not that I care about any of that. I'm just, the observing one here, trying to make sense of all this and see who this person is. I mean, and another red flag is, you look at his shower and he'll show you the shower. That's 24 karat gold, faucets and stuff. It's like, who says that actually has money? People don't say that have a lot of money. You know who says that? We'll find out in a little bit. So, anyway, I thought that was very strange how he was introducing certain things to me. Well, that's a $30,000 rug, and that's 24 karat gold in my shower, and this is a grand crystal from Argentina, and this is a heirloom from my heritage, and this is a $200,000 diamond picture on my phone. Okay, great, good for you. I don't know what to say. I didn't ask for any of this. It was so strange, being over at his place, because he had asked me over there after that Sunday to go over there Sunday night. Now, the situation with the coat, I will tell you, when I got over there was very, very strange. I didn't realize until the end of the visit we weren't the only two in that house that night, because it seemed very strange. I think he has microphones and cameras in every room, which is okay. People with money want to protect themselves, and I get it. I'm just a single person coming over there innocently enough. I know how to act, and I was raised right. So, as an empath, not a narcissist, actually, is what I mean by raised right with myself. So, I'm over at this man's house, and it's almost just like he's waiting to see what he can get out of me, but he always wants me in a drunken state of mind, okay? When a guy's trying to take advantage of you and manipulate your mind and trying to put you under some kind of spell or mind control, they'll always want your brain in an altered state. They'll never want you completely sober, because then you can kind of think for yourself. Now, and he will push the alcohol down your throat, want you to drink a whole bottle of wine, and then some. And it's like, that's too much. But if you tell him no, well, that's another story, and we'll get to that as well. So, he was telling me, taking me on a tour of his house, which took about, 25, 30 minutes. And I really wasn't interested to do anything sexual with him, and he kind of brought it up. And I gently said, you know what, this is my first time meeting with you, Jim. I think I'm going to have to pass on that. Not only that, I had just, I was getting ready for my surgery, and I didn't really want any problems. I don't know where he's been. I always have to think responsibly, and I think ahead. I'm not impulsive like these people to want to just act out in a moment. So I actually have a conscience and like to think ahead about things. Kill me. That's who I am. So anyways, he's going on about, his things and blah, blah, blah. So we go back down the staircase, because we went up to the master bedroom that he was hesitant to show me, okay? Whatever, for whatever the reason was. And he's future faking me. Oh, I want you to move in here, blah, 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 And then he had taken my coat at the beginning of the visit, and he put it in a closet somewhere. He took it out of the room, and I don't know, I actually think he gave it to somebody else was there. Somebody else was in the house at the time. And he gave it to that person, and they were downstairs. He didn't show me the downstairs, didn't want me to see the downstairs, was obviously talking to somebody else on his phone the entire time, because I did notice it in his hand, and he was obsessed about it the whole time I was there. And so that was no surprise. So we get down to the bottom of the stairs, and the coat is folded neatly, nicely on the island in the kitchen. And I know when we left the kitchen to go on the tour, the coat was brought out of the room, and it was not in the kitchen at all. And I said, how did my coat get there? And he goes, it was always there. I was like, that is a lovely trick. And he goes, yeah, well, you must be going now. I've got to get to bed soon. I've got to be up early for work. And I was like, no problem. And so then it was just kind of quiet. It was kind of silent. He's like, oh, text me when you get home, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then at the door, I said, you seem kind of disappointed with me. Have I hurt your feelings? Have I done something wrong to you? He's like, no, you just didn't give me a passionate kiss goodbye. And so he kissed me passionately goodbye, which was very strange. We're not even on that level. Not even close to being on that level. And so then, that's just what happened. And, it gave me the creepiest, eeriest vibe, knowing we weren't the only two there. And if we would have done stuff sexually, we wouldn't have been the only two people in that house. Now, how would that make you feel? Pretty strange, huh? With, 7,000 square feet of house. I mean, and you don't even know this person. Not only that, his bad cleaning went from the restaurant. His house is no better. Oh, well, he's a bachelor. Give him a break. No, hire that done. I mean, seriously? How can you sit and just live in filth like that? I couldn't do it. I mean, that's why I couldn't live with my other ex-narc, and he's another story for a different day. But anyways, Jim continued to pursue me. Breadcrumb me, kind of pursue me, not really pursue me. And, he had certain things he liked to see on women. And, his mean way of saying that to me was to rip on what I already wore or what I had. Oh, you wear your pimp boots around because I wear, expensive boots that have heels on them. I guess he calls those pimp boots. Okay, whatever. I could say stuff about his attire and the way he is, but we won't go there, right? I don't see a point to name call anybody. So he wants me to wear these riding boots, and that's one of the only times he met me out at the mall. Didn't ask me what I wanted, just said, I want to buy you a pair of nice riding boots. Oh, $50, $100 boots, big deal. What he didn't ask me, though, is if that was okay with me. Because actually it wasn't, because I have degenerative bone and disc disease in my back, and so my right side really doesn't tolerate the not ankle movement of my right side. So until I get the nerve issue addressed or something done with that spine and those two areas in my thoracic and in my neck, which are two rare spots to have that happen, but it did at a young age in my 20s, riding boots are not in my best interest to wear, and even the doctor said so. So I really can't wear that type of boot. A lot of women look good in them. A lot of women can wear them. I cannot. I can wear tennis shoes, and boots that fit, quarter length, but not all the way up to the knee. They just don't work for me. They just don't. They give me pain. So anyway, he didn't give a crap to hear about any of that. I spared him the knowledge to know that. So he gave me a couple $100 at the mall. He's very uncomfortable to be there the whole time, I could tell. The man is a workaholic. That's how he gets his worth. That's where he's always at. I also feel like I said, he's affiliated somewhere else in the mob. He brags how he doesn't need any money, but yet he's so concerned about it. It's like the double bind, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So he would always act like he has so many other things to do, but I'm important. He would say I'm important, and his actions wouldn't match his words. So the grooming process, actions don't match the words. You're being gaslit from the beginning. He's inconsistent with his actions and behaviors. He will create the situations to make you feel and look bad. I can remember on my birthday, he invited me over for this big bouquet of flowers and this dinner, and everything was set up perfectly. And he acted like he didn't want to see me after work, so I sent a message and said, let me know if you want me to come over at 8 o'clock at night like we had planned. You seem like you're tired, and I understand if you don't want to. He didn't get back to me, said he didn't receive the message. Lying sack of shit. I know he received the message because my phone says sent and received on it. So he obviously pretended not to receive it. Said he goes, oh, well, you're not here, so I'm going to bed. Screw everything. You know what I think? He set up my birthday for somebody else's benefit because all that stuff there, he took pictures of the stuff. He didn't want me to just rush over there real quick. Would have taken me 15, 20 minutes to get there. If you really wanted to see me, you would have allowed me to be there. He didn't really want to see me because he wanted me to feel bad. You know what primary supply is to a narcissist? Hurting somebody and actually knowing they're really hurt. but he couldn't hurt me because I don't care. And so the primary supply is the one they love to hurt. They want you to feel the pain. You know, you can get a couple places with the compliments and flattery, but they really want to see you and hear that you're suffering. So anyway, he was grooming me since he met me from day one, trying to gaslight me, future fake me, empty promise me, pull on my heartstrings, and then it came to the point where I needed somebody to help me with the surgery. And this is only because I didn't have those other two girls bail out on me. And one girl was a part of his business staff that this other girl knew. So I think everybody was kind of knowing each other in some strange way. I'll never know the truth, but who cares, right? So anyway, you know, you get gaslit, you get inconsistent actions. Who cares who the guy is or what you're going to or you think you're going to get? You fall in love with potential and not who somebody is. You lose years of your life. You sit up and you still got nothing. There's nothing to be gained from it, is what I'm trying to say. And all he wants to talk about is ex-wife. Like, excuse me, who wants to hear about that? Who wants to hear how you bought her horses and crap? What are you going to do for us? What are you going to do for me? I mean, isn't that what matters, is now and the future, not the past? I mean, these narcs want to live in the past like they're going to get some kind of award for being a hero and pity me and being the martyr. And not in my book, you're not. So you know, he's pushing me aside. He's acting like, you know, I don't matter. And, you know, he acted so much like I didn't matter. My ex ended up coming back around during Jim and I's relationship. And that was interesting. How they both came on my same area unannounced at the same time. Now, I have a hard time believing that was a coincidence, but that's supposedly how it happened. And my ex came over here to tell me his dad was having some hard problems and trouble. And the meantime, the 70-year-old narc was sitting at the end of the street in his little Mercedes, whatever he drives. I thought it was hilarious because, wow. And I said, why were you over near my house? Oh, I got you Starbucks. No, you didn't. It's easy to lie and say you did something when you weren't even going to bring it here. I don't believe a word anybody says. I think he was just spying on me. He's the type of guy that would rather go home and watch a movie on cable that he could have watched here with me. He's the guy that wants to drive by your house and not stop over. Like, who wants to be with somebody like that? Like, if you have to be a detective and, like, I just think it's very strange. That type of narc, I want nothing to do with. They are the most cynical, evil-driven, accusatory type of people you will be with. I can remember going to his house for a dinner, and he mistreated me terrible. I would never go back because I wouldn't finish my plate. He goes, I want to throw you out for not finishing your plate. Because I said, I'm full. He goes, finish it. I said, no, I don't want it. And it's like, he goes, you're shaming me to my family. You're an embarrassment. I could never bring you around anyone. Like, he wanted to control what I ate and how much of it I ate. And I said, I just can't do this. You know, so I politely then said, well, maybe I should just leave then if you feel like you want to throw me out. It sounded like he was very angry, like had an undertone of hostility or anger. So I left. And then, you know, it was just very, very strange after that. He ended up texting me to come in for some kind of drink at his restaurant like nothing had ever happened. And I was just floored by, you know, how could you actually reach out to me after you basically wanted to throw me out of the house physically? Like, that's not anybody you want to be around for very long, right? So, and this guy is intelligent, you know, he's got a law degree, he went to some kind of university, I mean, you know, he's got a daughter, I don't know if he sees her or whatever, but, you know, it's just, to be treated that way, nobody deserves that. I don't care who you are, what you do for a living. I don't know who he thought he was talking to, but I don't deserve that, and I wouldn't go back to get that either. So then, knowing him, you know, being groomed that way, you know, they want to put you through all these tests. That was just another narcissist abuse test to see if you'll go back after he mistreats you blatantly, you know, blames you for plans that don't work out, you know, pretends not to receive text messages and phone calls. You're going to be, you know, smart enough just to hang in there anyway. Are you going to tolerate the mistreatment and inconsistency with his actions? Are you really going to continue on with this shit show? I certainly hope not. So these were just a few more points you can look for in somebody to really decipher if you're being groomed for a bad position you don't want any part of. And the whole reason they keep you in this state of confusion and deception and tizziness is they don't want you to know what's going on when you're not around. They're obviously entertaining several other sources, and it's like a game of chess. They want to know where all their pieces are. So if he knows you're constantly at your house and you're not doing anything but waiting around for him, or you're in a tizzy fit or mad or something, that gives him supply. It gives him reassurance that you'll be there for him, and he'll let the time go by with somebody else and get his fix there, and then he will have you to come back to. They will also invite you over for a night of passion and fun if you don't want to participate or you leave or have boundaries, guilt you about it the next morning, and try to insinuate a fight over that and try to turn that into some kind of argument for no reason. He accused me of taking pictures at his house and then posting them on Facebook, and then he thanked me for taking them down, almost like he was having a conversation with somebody else on the phone that day after I'd come back from his house when he insisted I stay the night, because I don't play house anymore. I actually don't stay the night with guys. If you want me to stay the night at your place, I'm going to be your wife. That's how I'm going to be from now on. I'm going to have boundaries and expectations, and if guys don't like it, then they don't have to date me. So anyway, yeah, he really forced his way on me, and it didn't work. So you know what he did on New Year's this last year? My mom went and stalked him because I gave her very little information about who helped me with my foot surgery. Of course, I wasn't talking to her because that's another story for a different day. After I, had a falling out with her in summer, she burned a bridge with me and I'll never go back. So she had actually stalked him on New Year's, and it was coincidental. My other ex from Chicago had come here to my place, and so she kind of knew of this guy. And what happened was, when I had fallen out with him since he caught my ex being here and saw him walk out of the house, big deal, right? Well, to him it was the end of everything, but I didn't care. He actually ended up finding my mother's phone number and calling her to try to have a relationship and to take her out after the coronavirus. She mentioned something like that to me and tried to keep something going through him and her for my suffering or pain, or to know things about my life, and I wouldn't play along. So the game only continues if you want to play. Narcissists need your participation. They need an accomplice. If you take that out of the picture completely, they get nothing from you. They get nothing. They will go away. They have no other choice. So you can make up the choice for them. You have all the power in the situation, and they hate that you do, and the more that they think about that, the more they'll resent you for it. So anyways, my mom hopefully will decide not to continue to talk to this man. I think he's a swindler. I think he uses people for money, and he robs them besides, because he actually accused me of trying to set up his house to get robbed. Like, I would even have any idea how to do that or even know those types of people. I don't know how he would get that impression from who I am and my intelligence, or what he's seen of me and what he knows. But best of luck with that thinking. And the thief thinks everyone steals, and the liar thinks everyone lies, and the cheater thinks everybody's a cheater. So when you're running into people that are constantly suspicious, constantly accusing you of things, and I said, what have I done to make you think that? Well, nothing. Well, then you have no ground to stand on. I guess you just look like an idiot then, right? Anyways, guys, really, really pay attention to somebody's heart. Out of the heart, so does the mouth speak. Everybody start paying attention to your intuition and really tune into you and how you feel about things. I let this go on too long, and I didn't have control of the situation. I do regret a few things about it, but I'm glad it ended when it did. It could have been a lot worse for me later on. But I hope this helps somebody be aware of more signs that you can kind of pay attention to being groomed to be in a harem, and I'm glad I didn't take any kind of position in that man's life. This is Rosina Starr. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Good night.